Montill Warren has devoted herself to promoting aviation in Tennessee for over 30 years and has been deeply involved with the Civil Air Patrol since December 15, 1980, when she began to build up the program for cadets in the local Hardin County Composite Squadron. She has worked tirelessly in the community to promote the program through the recruiting and fundraising activities. Appointed to the position of Director of Cadet Programs for the state of Tennessee in 1995, she organized and participated in over 32 encampments, numerous cadet officer schools and drill team competitions, and managed the National Flight Academy for 7 years. For 8 years, she hosted young cadets from foreign countries, including Israel, the United Kingdom, Australia, and others through the International Air Cadet Exchange Program, promoting international understanding, goodwill, and fellowship among the aviation-minded youth of the world. Montill graduated from the Region Staff College at Maxwell Air Force Base in 1982, the National Staff College in 1989, and the Mission Coordinator School in 1989. She has received numerous Commander Commendation Awards, Meritorious Volunteer Awards, and many certificates of achievement. In 1989, Montill was appointed to the Savannah-Hardin County Airport Commission, and 6 months later was appointed chairperson. On June 1, 1993, she became manager of the Savannah-Hardin County Airport. Her hard work and dedication have brought many improvements to the airport, such as the installation of the nation's first concrete overlay runway designed for a general aviation airport, construction of several new hangars, the procurement and installation of new fuel tanks, and the upgrading of the airport runway lighting systems and security fencing. She has hosted community organizations and local, regional, and national events. All of these accomplishments culminated in her being named Tennessee Airport Manager of the Year in 1997 and the recipient of the 2009 Tennessee Aeronautics Commission Award of Excellence for her outstanding contributions to aviation in Tennessee. Montill is widely known in the aviation community for her hospitality, friendly service, and helpful attitude towards all of her customers. She frequently offers her own personal vehicle when needed to help out a stranded aviator. Many visitors to the airport have written back to the airport to express appreciation for her caring help. Montill's lifelong love of aviation has made a profound, lasting impact on the lives of many young cadets, the Savannah-Hardin County community, and the state of Tennessee. For her extraordinary and enduring service and her contributions to aviation for Tennessee, our nation, and the world, Montill Warren is honored by and inducted into the Tennessee Aviation Hall of Fame this 9th day of November, 2013.
Ladies and gentlemen, big hand for Montill Warren. And her husband is going to come and put her medallion on. In the meantime, congratulations.
This is indeed quite an honor, quite an honor. First of all, I would like to thank the Tennessee Aviation Hall of Fame for even nominating me tonight. I know it would have been hard for them to have nominated those hundreds of hardworking people who have put me here. And what an honor to be here, sitting on the same podium with you guys. I've done nothing up the side of these fellows here. Absolutely nothing. But I will make this short. Now, Bob Mentor said that I could just stand up here and talk. I don't have a speech written, but I'll tell you a little bit about how I got involved in aviation. Back in the 1940s, mid-1940s, I was a very small child, and I was in the yard with my mother as she was working in her flowers, and I heard this noise, and it got louder and louder and louder, and boy, scared me, so I grabbed my mama's leg and I held on. I thought the boogeyman had come to get me, and she looked up, she said, "No, honey," she said, "that's just the airplanes." She said, "They're coming back from the war." Never seen another one of those things. Didn't want to either, because that scared me to death. It was in the mid-50s. We moved to a SAC base, and if you don't know what a SAC base is, ask someone at your table. They might tell you. At that time, simulators weren't very popular, so the pilots had to take those B-52s off and around and around and around. We lived in their flight pattern, and they flew at a very low altitude and made a lot of noise too, Admiral, a lot of noise. But at that time, I wasn't scared. I learned to love that B-52. What an airplane. I heard that if just one plane took off of the runway, he would use enough fuel to run your car for 40 years. It's a lot of time. Of course, I guess the fuel is a little higher today, a little more expensive. In 1961, I got married to my husband, whom I have been married for the past 52 years. And little did I know we were going to move so often then. But he worked construction, built dams. And for the next 2 centuries, we moved from dam to dam. I think from 1962 maybe up until 1980. And we built dams everywhere. We were called those dam people at times, you know. Gotta get a nickname. Well, there just happened to be a dam in Tennessee, maybe more than one, but there was a dam at Pickwick. I'm sure some of y'all have heard of that dam, Savannah, Tennessee. Well, my husband was sent there, and it was no time till I was asked to help start a squadron with cadets at our local airport there. I had never been there before, didn't know what was going to happen. But I went to that airport, and it was no time until we had 100 young people there working in aerospace and leadership. What a wonderful thing to be able to be involved in. At that time, I had gotten involved with the airport some too. And you always need funding to keep these programs going. Mr. Arnold, James Arnold, some of you may know him. He was one of our state directors for the aeronautics. He told me one day, he said, "Get your uniform on, you're going to Nashville." So off to Nashville we went, and I sat around this big table, had never met those people before, and I had the opportunity to tell them about the cadet program in Civil Air Patrol. And that was wonderful. I thought, I never wanted to do that again, though. I didn't know those people. But we got funding, just like Bill has. Many, many of our state directors have helped us with all the flying that we have done. So our squadron there grew, and it grew quite quickly. For a matter of fact, it wasn't long after that then that I was asked to be the director for the state and the cadet program. I didn't want that job. I didn't want the one I had, but I did accept it. And that was the beginning of an adventure for sure. I thought my plate was full when I just had the squadron. Oh, and by the way, I did get to be a manager of that airport. And I sure that it was full then, but not full enough, so I took on the whole state as director of the cadet program. Now my platter really got full, you know. And it wasn't long after that, because I went to visit all these squadrons at night. I'd work all day and drive half of the night, you know, just to get to go visit, see all those people and meet. Must have been 30 of the squadrons at that time. And I got to go see all the hardworking people, all those cadets out there that were working. Well, I had no idea. You know, they were wonderful. So I just invited them to help me. You know, let's go run some flight academies. So John Black, I'm sure John may recall the time we came to his airport, Colonel Durham at the National Guard at Smyrna just moved over and let about 28 of us come in and stay there. We had our 172s and we had 20 cadets. I had pilots volunteering their time. They came from Florida, New York, North Carolina, and Tennessee. Also had some help with administrative work. And I just seen one of those people who has flown down from Indiana here tonight because she remembers all the hard work we put in. Night and day, we took those 20 cadets. And at the end of 2 weeks, we would solo 17 to 18 of those cadets. This went on for many years. Then we decided to put a little more on Montill's plate, and we'd just host these young people from other countries because they had similar program in their countries as we do here, the Civil Air Patrol. So we would send some of our cadets to their countries, in which we still do, and in return, we would receive their cadets. And I know this year was my first year to miss that. You know, I only have just a little. There's so many people out there, so many, that I'm so grateful to. Those cadets, I still get phone calls from, Admiral. They're serving in the Pentagon now. They're colonels. One's a lieutenant colonel, I know. He called me up last year and he said, Colonel Warren, you know what I'm doing? I said, I know what lieutenant colonels do. They carry coffee to the colonels. And we have cadets that have come out of this program, out of the state of Tennessee, who have now serving and designing aircraft for Boeing. What a wonderful thing to do. He still comes back to see me. We have cadets that are working for the CIA. We have pilots everywhere. Army. We have a young man that flew in last year and spent the night with me, transferring his helicopter from Washington down to a graveyard, down here south somewhere, you know. Many, many success stories that I could stand here all night. But I didn't do these, folks. I did not do this for myself. Many of those people sitting out there tonight, hardworking people that have dedicated their lives. Jeff Clark, I knew him when he was 19. He's now 50. Never had a cadet, one of his kids in CAP, but he dedicated his life to helping these young people learn how to fly. So many people that someone gave me an airplane. I had 10, maybe 10 of our cadets get their pilot's license out of that one little Cherokee, you know, all over. I can't start to tell you how much I appreciate each and every person out there who has given of their time, reaching out and touching someone else's life in aviation. And tonight, I want to thank those people. I want to thank John Black, Bob Mentor, and the people that put this program on. It's hard work. I know, I've done a few of these myself, And I'm sorry I didn't have time to write a speech, but I was busy trying to build a taxiway at the airport. Last but not least, I want to thank my family. Can I have my family please stand up? Folks, these are the better parts of me, and I thank you. You have a good evening. God bless you all. Each and every person, reach out and touch someone else, help them, because you can do that.
Now, that isn't all. Civil Air Patrol at this time, I think, has a special presentation to make to Montill.
Hey.
This is our future, folks. Thank you. Thank you so very much.